camera cut off on me. But I was saying my body is finally to the point where it can where I could get him in shape. I was so fucked up. I couldn't even show him no boxing. I couldn't show him no exercise. I was fucked up. After I had got him going pretty good, I was training him with the exercises that my trainer, Marcus Marinelli, my shoot fighting, catch wrestling trainer, and he threw some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in there. The same trainer that Stipe Miocic has. If some of y'all remember a guy named Dan Bobich had. Big Dan Bobich came in second at the UFC some years way back. But anyway, I'm training my young son in boxing. And when I get him where he's in some kind of shape, I'm going to turn him over to guys, younger guys, who are apt and knowledgeable in the modern training and the modern techniques of training boxers. Like I taught my son a left hook where you pivot. That's a left hook I was taught. Back in my days, it wasn't called the check hook. Cause I heard guys saying, and recently, he caught him with a check left hook. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I saw on YouTube a video, I forgot what this guy called himself. Anyway, he teaches boxing, and he has a girl from India here, and he was teaching her a check left hook. I said, that's just a fucking pivot left hook. That's a left hook. You throw the counter, somebody throwing the right hand or something. True enough, he showed her that left hook in conjunction with countering overhand, right over right hand. So, when I get my son in some kind of shape, I'm gonna find him, and when I teach him, I'm teaching the rudimentary of boxing right now. I say in about a year from now, I'm gonna turn him over to somebody, a better coach than me. Cause I was a good fighter. Good fighters don't make good coaches. But I could give him some good coaching in shoot fighting and in just some good exercises. My son is obese. His mother is obese too. And that runs in their family. And I have to get him in some kind of shape before I turn him loose with my ex-trainer, Marcus Marinelli, who has Strong Style Gym here in Cleveland, actually in Independence, or any really good boxing trainer. I have to get him in shape for that. I'm not going to just turn him loose to these people raw like that. I'm also thinking of taking him up to the Thai boxing gym up the street, but I know that too. So I have to get him. I have to first get his roundhouse kick and his back roundhouse kick together first. I'm about to relight this goddamn thing. I would have said that I'm real disappointed with ESPN. How they handled that Maxim Denishoff or something like death. From what I understand from Fanon, they fought this. First of all, they did not have a stretcher in the ring for the guy, for the fighters, which is to me real low class. ESPN should, before the fight, insist that these boxing venues have the equipment at hand for these fighters if and when they get hurt. Second, I heard that they kept the camera on this guy as they took him out of the ring and set him at some table somewhere, and he was vomiting profusely and his legs were shaking up under him. And Fanon said he knew from seeing that that the guy was dying, or he felt the guy was dying. So I don't know if I'm going to ever watch ESPN again, just to show some solidarity to fighters who have lost their lives or gotten hurt in the ring. These goddamn networks don't give a fuck about an athlete's life. All they want is ratings. And they don't give a damn if they have to show a fighter's brains coming out his fucking ears, as long as they get some goddamn ratings. And these assholes will not get my fucking money. I was getting ready to pay to download the ESPN app. Not now, motherfuckers. If you did what Fanon says you did, and he's normally, and Fanon, most of the LDBC are normally on point, you're not gonna get shit from me. No money, no honey, no nothing, motherfuckers. Nothing. I don't know whose fighter that guy was, but whoever trained him should let him know, and I don't know if he did or not, that when he came back to that corner, look, if you keep taking these kind of shots in the next round, I'm stopping this goddamn fight. You taking these shots to the head like this, and all you're doing is you're not doing anything. You're not trying to defend. You're not. I don't know how. I don't know how he was doing in the fight, if he was close or if he was putting up a good fight. But still, if he was putting up a good fight, I wouldn't have stopped it. I'm gonna be honest. But if he was getting hit with the kind of shots that Fanon described that he was getting hit with, and if he wasn't putting up any type of fight and just going forward, taking shots, I would have stopped that fight. I'd have stopped it. Because the man, I saw a picture of his wife and family, and that's when they really started hitting me. I'm reluctant to put my son in a boxing ring, because these coaches, first of all, they can't coach that good anymore. I had one of the best coaches in Cleveland. His name was Clint Martin. These coaches nowadays are bullshit coaches, number one. Number two, these managers don't give a damn about your life and safety. All they want is the bottom line every fucking time. And a lot of times they'll get on a trainer if they feel he stopped the fight too quick. All they want to do is put asses in seats. Okay, I said this before in a video. The reason I didn't go all the way with boxing is because I went up to Don King's gym in Orwell. I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and Ashtabula, Ohio, which is pretty close to Orwell, where King had his camp back in the early 80s, like 80, 81, 82, something like that. And I was supposed to spar with, who was it? Alfonso Ratliff and Mitchell Green. I was 16, I was 6'3", weighed about 240 pounds, 230 pounds, and I was a tough motherfucker. I whooped a lot of grown men's asses and spar. I mean, because when I spar, I try to kill you. I could take a punch, I could give a punch, and I was a boxer. I had a good jab, and I moved around well on my feet. I met Carl King, and that is what stopped me from a boxing career. You see, it was something scummy, something sleazy, something unsettling about that motherfucker. And just about every boxing person I met, trainers, managers, and fighters, was sleazy and a motherfucker. And I knew that if somebody fucked me around, I'd be in prison for the rest of my life. So I just walked away from it. I didn't give a fuck about money. The only reason I wanted to fight was for the glory. I didn't care about money. Anyway, Um, rest in peace, Maxim Didishaw. And I think Trio Boxing Talk is trying to collect funds for the man's family in Russia, or wherever they're at in Eastern Europe. He was trying to fight to bring his family over here, and that there. Anyway, when I get some money, I'm gonna see how I can send it to the trio, and I want all of you to do the same thing. I know you're not like 2 or 3 people ever listen to me, but those 2 or 3 people, send some money and tell others. We need to have some kind of fun for boxers' families, boxers who get killed in the ring, or who's damaged beyond repair. So, you know. Anyway, now I want to talk about this Dylan White, Eddie Hearns shit. These are the sleaziest fucking days in boxing history since the mob ran boxing. Dylan White gets in the ring, juice to the fucking gills, with something. I guess he had stopped sometime before, but it was still in the system because he looked fat and pudgy, and he didn't look that good in the ring to me. So maybe withdrawing from whatever substance he was on took something from him. He still got his ass dropped by, I think it's Oscar Rivas. Dylan White is a scumbag. Eddie Hearns is a devil's son. LDBC calls him the devil, though they're wrong. He's a devil's son. He looks just to me like Sam Neill in Omen 3. And I pointed that out years ago on a Facebook page. But I thought Eddie Hearns was a pretty decent guy then, but now I know the truth about him. They didn't notify Oscar Rivas' people about Dylan White's failed PEP test, performance enhancing drug, PED test. They did notify the WBC, who the fight was under the aegis of, about that either. Dylan White, Eddie Hearns, you motherfuckers should be banned from boxing. You're a threat and a danger to boxing. I had a cousin, Nancy Bueller, who was promoting fighters. He took in the sorriest fighters in the world out the bars, out the jailhouses, out the insane and the drug rehab section of the jails and mental institutions. Gave them a little bit of training and threw them in there to get their ass whooped against opponents who was less than adequate themselves. My cousin, I'm not going to tell you his name, was banned from boxing because they said he was a threat to the wellment and betterment of boxing. This ought to be what happens to Eddie Hearns and Dylan fucking White. They ought to take these 2 assholes and tar and feather them and throw them out of any kind of boxing, period. I remember when I saw Louis Resto and the Collins boy fight. Louis Resto's, the Collins kid, his father and trainer, felt Resto's gloves and felt that the padding was out. He notified the officials immediately, and Resto was banned from boxing. Panama Smith, what's his name? Panama, whatever the fuck, was a great trainer, but they banned his ass officially from boxing for life. He found the loophole to kind of get back in there, where he was training people's fighters, but not under his name. But he was banned for that shit. Who's that fighter who fought Cotto and had some kind of prayers for plaster or something like that in his gloves? Margarito was that? No, I don't think it's Margarito. He should have been banned for life. But those are more modern times. And now in the more modern times, boxing is full of shit. I don't know if I'm gonna train my son. I'm gonna keep training him, and I might throw him in the amateurs. But beyond that, I'm gonna try to talk him into not going into a professional career. Boxing is horrible. Now it's almost back to when Blinky Guillermo and them guys ran boxing in the 50s and 60s. If they would have had steroids and such, they would have been doing the same thing. Wait a minute. Not only steroids, but Oscar Rivas' team said that Dylan White brought gloves in that was not inspected by the boxing officials the day before that, when all the gloves that were deemed acceptable were inspected. And still, since they were in England, under UK rules, under Eddie Hearns's tutelage, Dylan White was allowed to bring in gloves that could have been possibly padded and juiced to the gills with steroid, and allowed to fight Oscar Rivas that night. Suppose Oscar Rivas had been killed in the ring. What then? Eddie Hearn somehow has some kind of pull with the UK officials, the UCAD, the doping officials, the drug testing officials, and UK boxing in general. I doubt anything would have happened to him and Dylan White. Right now, Eddie Hearn and Dylan White are probably trying to hide the B sample test that a fighter has to take after he fails the first sample. WBC, Oscar Rivas' team, ought to put in official protests and sue Eddie Hearn and Dylan White, and Dylan White should lose his mandatory position as Deontay Wilder's mandatory defense. That's about all I'm gonna say today, folks. I'm gonna be putting up more. I got a video somewhat of me training my son. I'm gonna be putting up more videos of that. Until then, press the like button and subscribe. Peace.